and Puerto Rico, both teams looking for a spot in the next window, the next round of qualifying, and it starts here tonight. All of this going on today. The Bahamas playing Team Jamaica, who will be in Hamilton on Monday. And here's a look at Group B. Very important here, Javon, because you carry your record into the next group. Canada right now sitting atop the group at 4-0.
You know, Canada's sitting at 4-0, but you gotta, you really gotta make sure that you don't take your foot off the gas. And you talk about this Puerto Rican team, 1 and 3, they might be playing out of desperation right now as well. So 2 teams at 2 different spots in the standings, where you've got to be aggressive, you've got to be focused.
All right, here are the starters being introduced for Puerto Rico. Oh, they're presenting the players. All of the players, a custom and international tradition.
Yep.
Javon, I know you've done this.
Everybody gets their shine.
Everybody gets their shine, and you get a gift. And you get a gift to boot, right?
I have so many of those trinkets, and I love them, right? You get them a little camaraderie before, shake hands, and a lot of these guys have been teammates at different leagues, on different stages, but once you make those exchanges of those trinkets and you go back to your huddle, go back to your sideline, right, it's time to compete.
Here comes Team Canada. Nikhil Alexander Walker, the hometown hero, SGA. Andrew Nemhard. Fiondu Kabengele. Aaron Best, the guy who's always there for the cause. Keyshawn George from Montreal, a Washington Wizard. Ryan Nemhard, Leonard Miller, Charles Bediako. He's a villain everywhere but home.
Oh, they love him. They love him.
Kyle Wiltshire, his dad played for Canada, and the pride of the University of Windsor, Thomas Kennedy. Head coach Gordy Herbert and his staff, as we line up now for the anthems. Puerto Rico in a special formation right now. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Puerto Rico in the formation of number 4, the late Jose Ortiz, and now the national anthem of Canada.
Well, two very emotional renditions there of the national anthem, perfectly setting the scene here in Hamilton for what should be a very interesting game against very two contrasting styles of basketball. But very two high-level teams going toe-to-toe. So much to play for both of these teams. Obviously, down the road, their sights absolutely fully set on making it to the World Cup in Qatar next year. For Puerto Rico and for Canada, they have been there many times, but they would love to go once again. Here are your officials for today's game. Bermudez, Carlos Velez, and Samuel Hidalgo from Mexico, Colombia, and the Dominican Republic, respectively.
The starting lineup for
So the teams will now head into their final warm-ups as well as they get ready for the big game.
To come out on the floor, and here they are.
Puerto Rico and Canada going toe-to-toe. Puerto Rico ranked 16th in the world, 5th in the Americas region. Were part of the 23 World Cup as well. Here's their starting five: Pinheiro,
pretty good five right there.
Freeman, Romero, and Thompson will be the five that Coach Gonzalez goes with to start the game.
No, this Puerto Rican team, they
Puerto Rico have been to the World Cup numerous times, 12 in total. Best ever finish was 5th, all the way back in 1959.
Look down low.
They finished 12th back in 2023 in the Philippines.
You know, he's the heart and soul of the squad, right? He's going to look on the other end. He's going to see guys like Kevin Gelly, you know, Miller, you know, SGA, and all these guys. He's going to want to take their soul, take their heart. But, you know,
World Cup winning coach for Germany, and here's the starting five that Canada will go with.
Well, great crowd right now. Rowan Barrett, the general manager for Canada Basketball, the men's team, saying, hey, all you people have complained about guys not playing in the past. Well, you know what? We got a lot of our NBA guys
here, of the moment,
and we expect this place
many eyes on him, many of the spotlights on him as well. But Coach Herbert, no doubt, will be rotating through what is a roster stacked from top to bottom with world-class talent players playing at the highest levels across the world.
Never had the opportunity like this to play
depth of roster is utilised fully.
And he is, in his own quiet way, is gassed up.
Under a minute until our opening tip-off. Remember, game's not just taking place here in Canada, but all around the world over the last few days and the coming few days as dozens and dozens of countries hopes of making it to the World Cup hang in the balance as we race towards the end of the first qualification window. Coach Gonzalez will be fully aware of that situation as well. His team currently sitting a little bit precariously on a 1-3 record. A win tonight would certainly be very, very helpful for their cause. Just one win against the Bahamas in game day 4. Their game tonight against Canada is a big one. Maybe even more so playing on the road on Monday against the Bahamas. Could make or break their chances of making it to Qatar, making it to back-to-back World Cups.
Puerto Rico, they're used to, you know, playing undermanned, they're used to playing undersized. But it's about the heart and the passion, right? I watched them.
Starting fives now coming to the floor.
Where they qualified for the Olympics.
Strong, loud crowd here in Hamilton for this one. They're all ready for the game. I hope you are at home as well.
He was in tears, right?
Should be a very entertaining 40 minutes of basketball ahead of us. As I say, two teams, very different styles.
Unfortunately,
plenty of
they didn't win a game in their group, but they accomplished the feat by getting there. As we get set to tip it off, the nephew of the late Dikembe Mutombo.
Opening tip underway. Game day 5 of the FIBA World Cup 2027 qualifiers. Canada against Puerto Rico, and straight away Canada get things underway. Dylan Brooks.
That shot right there, he took maybe 10 of them.
In the first score of the game.
Right? Just a guy that wants to get out there, compete, and irrational confidence when he gets the basketball in his hands.
SGA pressuring up on De Jesus, and now Nembhard doing the same on Thompson.
It away at the free throw line. That jumper's a little off target from Pinheiro. Nembhard hands it back into the hands of Miller. They're happy to take their time, build their offense. Kabengele. Gilgeous-Alexander, no good. Big rebound. Out to the wing, Nembhard. Not this time. Scramble for the rebound. It's going everywhere at the moment. It keeps falling into the hands of the Canadian team. Stolen away this time, though. Out on the break. Freeman bodying up, going strong for two. Great, strong, powerful, confident move. Enrique Freeman. Inside. Kabengele gets the score. Freeman now looking to hand off. Canada's defense denying the passing lanes, though. Foul called off the ball. I think that one's going to be whistled on Thompson Jr. Sorry, on Miller. Here's Nembhard going off the pick and roll. Beautiful no-look pass. Kabengele with the score. Romero will hand it back and Puerto Rico will look to build. That one's off the foot of Gilgeous-Alexander, so a new 14 for Puerto Rico to work with. Jesus going strong. Foul's going to be called as Brooks barrels his way into the basket support. He's okay though. Andrew Nembhard hands it to Brooks. To Gilgeous-Alexander. A little separation move from SGA to get his first points of the game. Baseline drive, spin inside, kick to the weak side corner. No space for the shot though. Shot clock running down. Nice pass inside. And a nice strong finish from Ismael Romero. Nembhard will come back out. Gilgeous-Alexander, quick first step, stops on a dime. Short corner two is money. Puerto Rico really going strong at the basket. Gilgeous-Alexander, a little hezzy. Steps back, short corner two, the other side as he falls out of bounds. He gets it to go. Living up to the hype early here. De Jesus drains a three. We're excited about this game before tip-off. We are even more excited right now. Nembhard eventually into the hands of Gilgeous-Alexander again. That one goes all the way through to Brooks. He's out of bounds though, so turnover ball. Can do it on both sides. Falling out of bounds when he releases that one. Jesus hands it away. Freeman now looking for the handoff. It's going to be stolen away. Nembhard goes up strong for the one-hander. Pulls up, strong move, control from Pinheiro. Puerto Rico right now Going punch for punch with Canada, blow for blow. Both these teams plenty of offensive firepower. Inside, off the glass, Dylan Brooks. Second bucket of the game for him. 2 from 2 from the field already. And that one's dribbled out of bounds. Puerto Rico make the change, as will Canada. Expecting both coaches to reach into their rosters. Sideline ball as Alexander Walker comes into the game for the first time this evening. Also into the action is Keyshawn George. Nembhard, long 3 ball. That's money. Strong move. Confident stroke from Andrew Nembhard. That one's off a Puerto Rican leg. Off Thompson's leg. Sideline ball for Canada, already an 8-point lead for the home team. Felt it straight away. You could see the confidence when he released that one. Brooks now for 3. Comes up short. Rebound pulled in by Freeman. Freeman sees the basket, attacks strong. Comes up a little short though. Nembhard hands it up to the top floor. Keyshawn George with the throwdown. And a very early double-digit lead for Canada, as they're putting on a show here in Hamilton. Canada 19, Puerto Rico 9, under 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Coach Gonzalez will call a timeout and we'll jump straight into his huddle. I don't think it's necessarily a game plan change for Puerto Rico. I think it more just is break a little bit of Canada's early momentum and a reminder of how they're going to combat the immense amount of firepower that this Canadian team has. Bear in mind, if Canada were to bring this 12 to the World Cup next year, they surely would be in the conversation for where on the podium they're going to finish. This is a very good 12. That said, when you look around the world, my goodness me, have we seen some amazing rosters on show. Plummer now, ball in hand, looking for options. Sprawling defense from Canada. They're not just about offense here. They've come out of this timeout leaning hard defensively, and the pressure too much there for Freeman to cope with. Spills it. Great defensive stand by Keyshawn George. Alexander Walker now to the wing. George is open for 3. Rolls over the rim and away. Rebound falls to Thompson. Foul's going to be whistled on George. First foul of the game for him. Second team foul of the quarter for Canada. Into the game comes Bediako for Canada. In for Puerto Rico comes Ronaldo Toro. Both teams running their rotations here in the first quarter. Thompson now guarded by Nembhard. Ball inside, spin, left hand hook off the glass, little heavy-handed. Brooks glides to the glass for two. Makes it look easy. Smooth rhythm to his play. Thompson hands it back out. Plummer out, looking to shape up against Nembhard. Finds the open man on the wing and rolls in the three. Good patience from Puerto Rico that time. Need to show a little bit more of that. Nembhard fading, long two. That is a difficult shot. 26-year-old. Looks smooth as ever. Short corner two. Back of the iron and away. Nembhard picks up the rebound. Brooks now. Spin. Fades. Hits the two. Dylan Brooks lighting up early. 8 early points for him. Three ball is short, but the rebound is batted back to Thompson, who will hit it at the second attempt. Back down to a 10-point lead for Canada. The pace of the game is nice and high. Entertaining basketball being delivered by these two. George inside, no-look handoff. Bodies everywhere on the floor. Foul's going to be whistled. We'll see Bediako heading to the line, I think, for 2 shots. There's the tap back, and there's the 3 ball on the wing from Thompson. Bediako at the line. Wiltshire into the fray. A very familiar face in this national team. Actually played in the World Cup in 2019. Canada finished 21st that time. He averaged over 16 points a game in that tournament. Canada finished 3rd in the 2023 World Cup. Gilgeous Alexander and Dylan Brooks were part of that team. They combined for nearly 40 points a game in the Philippines. Kapos hands it back. Thompson Jr. fouled on his way. They're asking for goaltend. There's no way that will be given. Ball wasn't above the rim when it got swatted twice. But the foul will mean that Thompson Jr. will be heading to the line for 2 shots. To be fair, the foul could have even been called earlier on that first step. Into the game comes Ryan Nembhard. Out of the game heads Keyshawn George. Canada right now a perfect 4-0 record, being led by a reigning world champion coach Gordy Herbert. Obviously led Germany, I think it's fair to say, to the unexpected gold medal in the 2023 World Cup. 4-0 Canada starting their qualification, puts themselves really in a driving seat. Already qualified for the second round, but just a reminder, every result from this first round carries through to the second round, so there are no nights off. Gilgeous-Alexander misses the three. Two Puerto Rican players wrestle each other for the rebound, and it squirts out into the hands of Canada's Wiltshire. Sideline ball for Canada here. A little under 90 seconds left in this first quarter. Just a technical issue that the officials are dealing with. We're ready to restart the game now. Hard inbounds it. Gilgeous-Alexander, lovely pass inside and a thunderous throwdown. Gilgeous-Alexander with the feed. Bediako with the power. Wonderful combination between those two. Definitely worth a watch again. Draws a double team, and Bediako strong in the finish. Gilgeous-Alexander just knows he's going to draw that attention every time he has any space. A double team will step across on him. 12-point lead for Canada. Offensively, they'll be very happy. Defensively, potentially we'll see them go through the gears in the second quarter. Pass skipped all the way through. Kapos for three. Not this time. Alexander Walker. Gilgeous-Alexander drives inside off the glass, draws the foul. He'll have to earn his the hard way. Romero, I think, whistled for that one. Yeah, coming across on the help, the right move for Ismael Romero, but just a half step late on that. So into the game will come Collier, as Romero, I think, will head to the bench now. Certainly not risking picking up another foul with 33 seconds left in the first quarter. First is no good for Gilgeous-Alexander. Second is. Canada's lead sits at 13. A comfortable, if not impressive, 13-point lead, but that's better defense from the Canadian team. And a backcourt violation is going to be called on Puerto Rico, so Canada will get possession and will likely look to use the 18.2 seconds that remain in this quarter. And on that defensive pressure, a scramble from Puerto Rico. Clock running down, the three is up, no good. The putback is, though. Bediako. And some confusion there. I think there was still time on the clock and he scored in his own basket. I think the officials are saying no, it had already gone. But that is the end of the first quarter here in Hamilton, and Canada, as expected, have created a comfortable lead. 10 in the book. It's Canada 31, Puerto Rico 16. Here are the shooting stats from that first quarter. My goodness me. Canada 93% from 2. Not great from outside, but you can kind of ignore that as they've crashed the boards hard. 4 offensive rebounds in that first quarter. Part of the reason why right now they have a 15-point lead. Plenty of big plays in this first quarter. Right now, leading scorer Dylan Brooks leads all scorers with 8. 4 from 5 from the field for him. Just behind him, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Andrew Nembhard. They both have 7 apiece. As for Puerto Rico, 3 players on 3 points. De Jesus has 3, Capos has 3, and Thompson does as well. A very bright first quarter from the home team, putting on a show for the crowd here in Hamilton. Be interested to see how Puerto Rico change things up in this second quarter, and do Canada look to do anything differently? Do they look to focus on different areas of the court as they build towards a run at the World Cup in Qatar next year? Do scan the QR code to access and log in to Courtside 1891. Watch live stream, extended highlights of FIBA competitions, and much more. Second quarter underway here in Hamilton. Game day 5 of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Canada lead Puerto Rico by 15 at the end of the first quarter. De Jesus. Quick ball movement. Nice play by Puerto Rico. Good defensive stand, though, by Bediako. Impressed by his play in today's game so far. Wiltshire barrels his way inside. Nothing wrong with a bit of old school back to the basket. First score of the game for Kyle Wiltshire. Backcourt violation is going to be whistled. Another one on Puerto Rico. Struggling under the pressure that this Canadian team are putting them under. Not being allowed the handoffs as maybe they would against some of the other teams. Bediako at the top, looking to hand it away, does to Gilgeous-Alexander. Quick on the trigger, and that's why he's a sharp shooter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, first player on either team to double digits. All handed inside. Collier going strong, fouls called. Bediako whistled for that one. Collier heading to the line for shots. And there's Gilgeous-Alexander. What can you say about the play? Simplicity, but executed perfectly. There's Collier going strong. Bediako just getting caught a little bit off position. Kabengele comes into the game for Bediako. Collier misses the first. Wasn't part of Puerto Rico's team in 2023 World Cup, was in 2019. Averaged just shy of 6 points and 4 rebounds a game. Puerto Rico finished 15th in the World Cup in China. Gets a second to drop. Angeli inside Gilgeous-Alexander, fades away, tough shot. Follow is good though for Alexander Walker. Canada's lead out to a game-high 19 now. Nice pick and roll, strong move, great defensive stand by Alexander Walker, and Canada will regain possession. Handed away, good ball movement here for Canada. Good spacing. Alexander Walker for three, not this time. Rebound ripped down by Pinheiro. Free ball from the wing, no good. Wiltshire scoops up the uncontested rebound. I like the idea of pace for Puerto Rico. I just think they need to go towards the basket instead of settling for the three ball, as we see Cavangeli just drop in another two. As Canada are running away with this game at a rate of knots. Three ball way downtown, and again Puerto Rico settling for the shots from range instead of creating. Wiltshire for three. That one's off right. The prettiest shot from Kyle Wiltshire. Collier fades away, draws the foul off Cavangeli. Collier heading to the line for another two. He was 1 from 2 on his first trip, as we see Freeman come back into the game. Double change here for Canada as well, as Andrew Nembhard and Keyshawn George re-enter the action. Gilgeous-Alexander heads out of the game, as does Ryan Nembhard. Collier sets himself. Vast majority of this Puerto Rican team play their domestic club basketball in Puerto Rico. Just a couple of players playing in the NBA. Gilgeous-Alexander with a very rare collector's item air ball. Wiltshire steps in, comes up short. A heave for three, and that's a smart play. As Gilgeous-Alexander gets drawn into the foul. First foul of the game for him, third team foul. In fact, the foul was on the floor before the shot attempt. Didn't like the look for that shot attempt from Thompson Jr. though. Nice pass inside. I like the fact they're also looking to get to the basket. Off the glass, no good for De Jesus this time. Oh, the pass had a little bit too much hot sauce. Couldn't hold on to it. And once again, they'll pull up for an early three unnecessarily. Poor decision making here in places for Puerto Rico. Alley-oop for two. George floating around the rim for the alley. Wiltshire obliges. The veteran showing some love to his younger teammate. Timeout has been called. Second and final timeout of the half by Coach Gonzalez.
We're gonna make shots. We're gonna make shots. We're gonna make shots. We're getting good looks. Press. Go in transition. If they got numbers, take one. 1, 2, and DJ. Go inside. Whoever get the edge, y'all. Hey, my head. Hey, Arnaldo, let me see. Yo. You go, DC. You go inside. Go ahead, donde quiera. You go almost. the entry. Then you're going to run to the middle. We go until you get the ball handle. Got it? Let's go. We go ahead. Go ahead. Let's go.
Canada looking comfortable right now, the 23-point lead. Gilgeous-Alexander leading all scorers with 10, shooting 50% from the field. Every game he steps on the floor, the expectations are high, and you have to credit the 27-year-old. He pretty much lives up to them game after game. Very rarely has a bad day at the office. Clavel now. And they keep looking to run this handoff on the right wing, and every time they've done it, pretty much it's ended in a turnover. I think it's time to either run it to the other side or stop trying to run handoffs. Brooks now. Fade away. Good footwork. Good defensive stand, though, by Toro. Stayed with Brooks all the way. Kicked all the way through. That one's swatted. Gilgeous-Alexander flying through the air to deflect that one out of bounds. Let's have a look at the replay. Thompson hands it through. Good defensive chase down. They'll go again, though, and this time it's good for three. Ethan Thompson. George, whip to the weak side, catch and shoot for Gilgeous-Alexander. Little cool off here in the second quarter for the OKC superstar. Maybe he'll get it away now. And a soft little dunk. Seems to have become in the tradition. The dunks become a little bit more delicate these days. Made myself super old then. I do apologize. De Jesus off the glass, not this time. Skip to the weak side. Brooks for three. Didn't even think about it. Just autopilot to release the three ball. Clavel will draw the foul. Gets the shot away. Dylan Brooks whistled for that one. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's the steal, and here's the ever so delicate put away. Gilgeous-Alexander comes out of the game. Gordy Herbert sparing with his superstar. First is good for Clavel. Had 14 points in game day one against Jamaica. Gian Clavel. Goes 2 from the line. Canada's lead trimmed back to 20. Just over 4 minutes left in this first half. A very brisk first half of business here in Hamilton. No look pass inside. Skipped all the way through. Wide open for Nembhard. Andrew Nembhard doesn't need a second invitation. Rains down the triple. Thompson now. Finger roll for two. Lob down low, too much put on the pass by Brooks. just about hold on to possession, skip through. Jesus is rejected by Miller. Left hand is too heavy. Puerto Rico at the moment struggling to get credible shots away. Foul is called on the floor. Kabengele will come out of the game for Canada. Dylan Brooks just eavesdropping on the impromptu Puerto Rico huddle. Maybe they're discussing dinner plans for later. First is no good from the line. Back at the line for the second. Jesus gets it to go, stolen away on the inbound. Smart play by Thompson, and he gets the three to roll. It's that kind of play that could get Puerto Rico back into this game. And with under 3 minutes to play, Canada will call a timeout in this first half. Gordy Herbert just seen a little bit of complacency starting to sneak into his team. Let's head into his huddle, hear what he has to say.
Get it in, clear out. You want a fire screen half court? Fire screen half court. Everybody else flat. Flat. All right, here we go. Let's go, White. That's what.
Nothing to worry about in the Canadian huddle. Ethan Thompson for Puerto Rico, though, has got himself up to 11 points in just 11 minutes of play. 4 from 6 from the field, 3 triples for him. Putting out a statement. But for Canada, it's just a little bit of reassurance, a reset back to the game plan. Namhard now. Kennedy checks into the game for the first time for Canada. That is all 12 Canadian players on the floor. Every Puerto Rican player seen time as well, as Brooks lets fly for 3. Ripples the bottom of the bucket, as it often does with Dylan Brooks. Brooks now on double digits as well. Loses his footing. Can just about hold on to possession. Whips the pass through. The 3 ball is off target. Brooks scoops up the long and loose rebound. Looks to pro step his way through, but it's deflected. Freeman will go. Kicks it out. Thompson is open for another 3. His 4th triple of the game. Putting on a shooting clinic right now, Ethan Thompson. Will be a foul as tries to chase over the screen and can only grab onto Brooks. Double change as Alexander Walker and Gilgeous-Alexander are back in. Brooks and George head to the bench. Puerto Rico make a change as well. Out of the game comes Toro. Nemhard for three, rolls it in. That's a tough shot as well, having to pick it up from the shoelaces to get that one away. Final 90 seconds of this first half. Clavel. Nice cut along the baseline, a smart move by De Jesus. Alexander Walker trying to find a seam to attack. Crossover, comes back out. Drive inside, a little no-look shovel pass. Foul will be whistled on Thompson as the Wiltshire little pump fake. Sorry, the Kennedy pump fake just drew him into the air. Almost had him up on his shoulder like a toddler at the zoo. Instead, Kennedy will head to the line for free throws. Coach Gonzalez looks on. First is good for Kennedy. Hasn't featured in a World Cup for Canada just yet. The 25-year-old was part of the AmeriCup team last summer. Helped Canada finish fourth in that competition. This is his second free throw as we enter the final minute of this first half. Thompson for another three, not this time though. Kennedy with a big reach-up rebound. Three on the wing. Off target. Rebound falls back into the hands of the hot hand. Thompson, catch and shoot for Clavel, and he'll hit the three. Puerto Rico shooting their way back into this game. Do not discount them. Back to within 16. It's about a 4-second difference between shot clock and the first half clock. Alexander Walker passes it inside, and an easy reverse layup for Miller. Thompson, near impossible three, almost got it to bank in off the glass. And that will be the half. And at the half, it's Canada 56, Puerto Rico 38. A good first half for Canada, but a fight back in the offing for Puerto Rico. They'll take some confidence into the locker room. Canada will need to go again in the second half. Here are the shooting stats from that first half of action. Canada delivering very, very well. Pretty much across the board. A little bit cagier from three. Puerto Rico getting those percentages growing. Second half, second, minute after minute, you're seeing the game come to them a little bit more. At the moment, Ethan Thompson leads all scorers with 14. And it's Andrew Nemhard who leads Canada with 13. Here are some of the best plays from that second quarter of action. Wiltshire going back to the basket. Smooth move for the two. But right now, it is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander putting in some big shots. He's got 12 points in that first half. Dylan Brooks has got 11. So three Canadian players already on double digits. Every player except Aaron Best has seen action on the floor for Canada now in that first half. As for Puerto Rico, just one player in double digits, Ethan Thompson. provider, or almost provider, in that situation. If it wasn't for the good defensive stand, there he is hitting one of his 4 triples in that first half. But Canada will be relatively comfortable at this stage of the game. An 18-point lead at the half is not to be sniffed at. That said, they'll also be probably very aware that they had a 23-point lead just shy of halfway through that second quarter, and they've let that slip a little. I'm sure Gordy Herbert will be talking about that, because it's that kind of mentality that they'll need to build over these qualifiers to mount a charge at the World Cup if they can get themselves qualified. But at the half, it's Canada 56, Puerto Rico 38. Welcome back to Hamilton in Canada. We're at the halfway stage of game day 5 of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Canada lead Puerto Rico 56-38, and right now Puerto Rico are being held in this game by a hot hand of Ethan Thompson, the 27-year-old, shooting the lights out in the first half, 4 from 6 from downtown, 14 points to his name. He's hit some big shots and some momentum shifters, certainly towards the end of that first half, where Puerto Rico trailed by 23 at one stage, and Thompson stepped in, hit some big shots, and at the half they trail now by 18 as they're trying to fight their way back in. That was a smart steal as well from Thompson as he steps out and hits the 3 ball. A long way back for Puerto Rico, though, to be fair. They trailed by 15 at the end of the first quarter. They've been far more competitive in the second quarter, only losing 25-22 in the last 10 minutes. But right now, I'm sure that Coach Gonzalez is working with his team. How can they change the flow of this game? As for the other end of the floor, their leading scorer right now is Andrew Nembhard. 13 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 5 from 6 from the field. Hitting a huge downtown triple there. 1 of 3 that he's hit in the game. But a supporting cast definitely alongside him, as Gilgeous-Alexander has 12 and Brooks has 11. 3 players on double digits at the half shows a team-first ethos that Canada have played with so far in this game. I'm sure Coach Herbert will be just asking them not to get complacent. Puerto Rico have firepower. Puerto Rico have quality and experience in their team that, if not kept checked, could come back to bite Canada in the backside. So I'm sure the message from Coach Herbert is to keep the intensity up on both ends of the floor. Most interested to see how Puerto Rico come out and try and play this second half differently. Because if they don't, they could slip to a 1-4 record. And if they slip to a 1-4 record, my goodness me, the game on Monday against the Bahamas just goes through the roof in importance. There is Ethan Freeman back out warming up for the second half, hoping to keep that hot streak going. It's always one of the worst things as a player. Sometimes the half comes at just the wrong moment, and you feel like it has for Thompson. Remember, both these teams have visions of being back to another World Cup. They've been there many times in their country's history. They'd love to be in Qatar next year for the World Cup yet again. However, there are only 7 spots in the Americas available. And right now, we have 16 teams fighting it out. There is the top scorer for Canada at the half, though, Andrew Nembhard, 13 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. He's certainly having his impact. as is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Right now here in Group B, Canada already have their spot in the second qualification round locked in. They're 4-0, top of the table. A win tonight really does keep them moving towards an early qualification being sorted for the World Cup in Qatar. But outside of that, there's 2 more spots available in Group B. We have Jamaica currently with a 2-win, 2-loss record. Puerto Rico and the Bahamas both with 1 win, 3 losses. Jamaica facing off against the Bahamas this evening. That one tipped off 5 or so minutes ago. Right now the Bahamas lead 7-4, a couple of minutes into that game. And that really does put pressure on Puerto Rico, particularly if the Bahamas win that game. That makes, well, the game on Sunday absolutely huge for Puerto Rico. The Americas is becoming more and more competitive, more and more nations able to put world-class rosters on the floor. As more and more players are being attracted to represent their countries and commit to playing in these tournaments. They see how amazing the experience is. Coach Herbert, final conversations with his team before they come out for the second half. If you have your phones to hand, scan the QR code on the screen, download the official FIBA World Cup qualification app. Completely free of charge, available wherever you get hold of your apps. Canadian 5 already back on the floor, ready to go. All smiles right now. They're looking very relaxed indeed. Two teammates there going toe-to-toe, Andrew Nembhard and Ethan Thompson, both Indiana Pacer players. Now they'll guard off against each other to start the second half here in Hamilton. Game day 5 of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Canada lead Puerto Rico at the half by 18. Gilgeous-Alexander will pick up an early foul from De Jesus. And Gilgeous-Alexander will stroll straight to the free throw line. 1 from 2 on his first trip. First is good.
One more shot.
As is the second, he now becomes the leading scorer, or joint leading scorer in today's game, leading Canadian scorer, that's for sure. Thrown away. Angeli will hand it on now into the hands of Gilgeous-Alexander. Nice pass inside and an easy finish from Miller. Pinheiro lobs it down low. Miller's going to be called for a foul. I think it was a little jersey pull by the 22-year-old. Pinheiro goes strong, tough move. Couldn't quite have a soft enough touch to get that one to drop. Brooks now barreling his way towards the basket. A determined, strong player. Goes for the reverse layup, doesn't get the score. Ends up flat out on the hardwood. Handed on to the trail. Good defensive stand. Gilgeous-Alexander brings it in. 3-on-1 break, handed ahead. And an easy, soft finger roll for Andrew Nembhard. Freeman gets it to go in fragmented play. Nembhard, skip past to Brooks. Brooks now shaping up against Pinheiro. Gets the score. Canada's lead quickly back out to 24, a 6-point swing in the first 2 minutes of this second half. Foul will be whistled as Romero glides to the basket. Here's Dylan Brooks going to work. Leans in, a couple of pump fakes, and nice little short corner jumper is business as usual for Dylan Brooks. Romero, just 3 points in today's game. Had 20 points, 10 rebounds against Bahamas in his last outing in the Puerto Rico national team jersey. Certainly a quiet tonight, but I think it'd be fair to say a bit of a tougher challenge here against Canada. Foot violation called on Ethan Thompson. So shot clock resets out to 14. Nice pass inside, handle is lost though, foul called. Kabengele will head to the line for 2 shots. Coach Gonzalez frustrated right now. Knows his team have more to give, they're just not quite connecting and firing on all cylinders so far. Kabengele gets the second to go. Pinheiro sends it back out to Jesus. Shot clock expiring. Going strong. Romero now starting to lift his team a little, using that size and power, effectively attacking the rim. Ball skip to the weak side. Foul will be called on Romero. Here is Romero. Strong move, tough to stop when he's in full flow and has that body control. And the 3 is good. Nembhard picking the game up where he left it in the first half. 18 points now, his 4th 3 of the game. And a game-high 25-point lead for Canada. They look to extend it further. Brooks now. Oh, the pass from Gilgeous-Alexander just a little bit loose. Nembhard making it look so easy. Nonchalantly stepping up and raining down another 3. Thompson forcing things a little to try and get it going, but once again it's Ismael Romero there to scoop up the scraps and get Puerto Rico scoring, ticking over. Free from the wing, no good for Brooks. Freeman pulls down the rebound and looks to bring some energy down the floor. Comes up short with that attempt, gets his own rebound, and will draw a foul. Right now, these teams are definitely playing the style of basketball where it's just all guns blazing. The defensive end is not necessarily being paid the most attention. Certainly entertaining for the crowds, though. Although one would say there are tougher games ahead. But maybe a more high-level defensive focus would help them for. Freeman misses the first of his 2 free throws. Freeman's first game in the qualifiers for Puerto Rico. Miller now finds Gilgeous-Alexander. He wants an isolation. Fades away. Tough shot. Foul whistled. Jesus. It's going to be called for that one. Yeah, it's the hand on the hip. No matter how little pressure you're applying, you cannot have that hand down there. Gilgeous-Alexander hits the first of his 2 free throws. Takes himself to 15 points personal. That's a second to go as well. Canada continue to open this lead out. Back to 24. As Piñero will head to the bench. Puerto Rico just about get it over the half in time. Almost swatted away. Oh, will he get the bucket? Yes, he will. Ismael Romero. Not sure what was said or what happened in the halftime locker room, but a different man has come to the floor in this second half. An absolute monster of a performance here in this third quarter. Only 5 minutes in as well. Gets the bonus from the free throw line. Back into the action, Keyshawn George. As Miller heads to the bench. Gilgeous-Alexander uses the double screen, draws Romero away from the basket. Now he's going to try and shake him loose. Oh, bullet pass inside. Wonderful pass and a strong finish from Bediako. Third assist of the game for Gilgeous-Alexander. Now Romero whips it to the weak side. Catch and shoot, high arcing, comes up short. And Brooks taps it to Nembhard. Brooks gets it back. What's the call? Bediako's called for, I think, an illegal screen. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it's politely I would say it's just a bit of a lazy screen. Didn't get himself set properly at all, was still leaning. Second foul of the game for Bediako. Romero rolls, Romero is open. Romero with another score. What a second half he is having. 12 points for him now. Remember, he's playing with 3 personal fouls as well. Doing a great job. Nice pass inside. Nembhard breaks through the 20-point barrier now. Clavel comes up short. George does get the rebound in the end. Nembhard for 3, skips over the iron and away, but Canada reclaim possession. Brooks hangs in the air. Oh, step back, big play, Andrew Nembhard. What a game he's having. All smiles as he's putting on a show. Crowd are loving this. Nembhard up to 23 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. Definitely worth a look back. Some of his highlight plays in this third quarter. Look at this. Oh, puts him on a spin. Beautiful play. Timeout's been called by Coach Gonzalez, and we'll head into that huddle. Oh, what a performance from Nembhard. 10 points in this quarter. 4 from 5 from the field. That is an absolute beast of a performance. Blasting his team out to a game-high 26-point lead right now with 3 minutes left in the quarter. Thompson is quieting down in this third quarter, but credit to Canada's defense to not allow him the opportunities he had earlier in the game. Freeman now going to go strong against George, and he is. That is just a powerful move by the 25-year-old. Takes multiple contacts, relentless with the play. Chance of the three-point play now for Enrique Freeman. We'll get the roll. Oh, nice pass on the cut. Oh my goodness me. Unbelievable that Kennedy went for that play. Connect with that. Stop the highlight reel editing now and just slot that one in the permanent #1 spot. Look at this. Wow, that would have been huge. Thomas Kennedy with a point to prove on that one. The game comes Brooks as Wiltshire comes in. First is no good for Kennedy from the line. He's 1 from 2 on his first trip. This is the second as well. Freeman comes up short. Rebound into the hands of George. Alexander Walker. Oh, wow! Kennedy gave us a warning. Then he went up and delivered from the top floor. Plummer. Clavel now. Nice crossover, glides inside. Smooth move by Gian Clavel. Oh, the behind the back pass deflected. Freeman will go again and get the score as Canada starts to become a little bit complacent here. Their lead has been trimmed back to 21. We're about to enter the final minute of this third quarter. George off the glass will get the roll. Clavel has it knocked, but it will remain Puerto Rico ball. Back into the game comes Gilgeous-Alexander. There's the big one-hander. Kennedy putting that one down with authority. There's George off balance, falling out of bounds, getting the score. Plenty of scoring firepower in this Canadian roster. That's a lovely up and under. Plummer with the score. Alexander Walker taking advantage of the structure of the game. It's become a lot more broken. Oh, and the pass sneaks through his hands and out of bounds. A 7-second differential between the shot clock and the quarter clock. Alexander Walker slowing it down. Gilgeous-Alexander gets the extra pass to George. He'll come up short though. 5 seconds for Puerto Rico to work with. Make that just 2. It'll be a heave from the half. Almost gets it to go. Off right though. And that is the end of the third quarter here in Hamilton. 10 minutes to play. It's Canada 83, Puerto Rico 60. Here are the stats from the first 3 quarters. Canada continue to be highly efficient, particularly close to the basket. 84% from 2, 64% from the field overall is pretty impressive. Puerto Rico shooting just over 40% from the field. Here are some of the highlight plays from the third quarter, as Canada continue to extend their lead. And that man there, Andrew Nembhard, now up to 23 points, has 4 rebounds, 4 assists as well. He's shooting 82% from the field, Nemhard. That's a pretty impressive figure if you're a big man. That's a phenomenal figure as a guard, especially when you're stepping out and taking shots like that. He's 5 from 7 from downtown. That's 71.5%. Credit, though, the other end of the floor for Ismael Romero. He woke up in this third quarter and put in some big numbers. He's up to 12 points personal. Well, with 10 minutes left here in Hamilton on game day 5 of this FIBA World Cup qualifier. Canada in the driver's seat, and you see the QR code on the screen. Scan that to access and log into courtside 1891. Watch live streams, extended highlights of FIBA competitions, and much more. There is Coach Herbert. I'd imagine the only person in the building with a World Cup winners medal. I may be wrong. Final quarter underway here. Game day 5 of the World Cup qualifier between Canada and Puerto Rico. Right now, Canada firmly in the driver's seat as they lead by 23. Foul and 1. Collier. Powerful, thoughtful, purposeful as he goes to the basket. Miller whistled for the foul. It's his second foul of the game, and an early team foul in the quarter for Canada. He'll convert the three-point play, bringing it down to a 20-point ball game. Certainly improbable that Puerto Rico are going to get the win here, but not impossible. Foul whistled on Clavel, who gets caught up with Gilgeous-Alexander. Alexander Walker, no look pass. Easy two-hand flush for Carl Wiltshire. Clavel hands it away. Plummer trying to find space against George. Quick step, high off the glass. George slaps the perspex, but Plummer puts it way above his reach. Now the mismatch in the other end. Alexander Walker can't get the score. Puerto Rico doing all they can to blast their way back in. A teardrop right hand is too soft. Oh, the up and under on the reverse layup. Plummer with a big play, and Coach Herbert's seen enough. A lightning start to this final quarter. 7-2 run from Puerto Rico. And Coach Herbert says enough is enough and calls a timeout. Love the up and under. Old school from Plummer. Interesting from Coach Herbert's perspective. I think his team know what they're doing. I don't think they particularly need to be told what to do. They just need a reminder not to take their foot off the gas. Can't become complacent. Might get away with it today, but there will be a game that comes where you don't get away with it. And you never know, it might be something like a World Cup final. That is where the problems really will manifest if you don't play with the intensity every second you're on the floor. Puerto Rico will have some confidence coming out of this huddle. They forced Canada into that timeout, brought themselves back to within 18. Real bumper crowd here in Hamilton, cheering on the national team. Alexander Walker brings it up over the half, gets it back. George for three. First triple of the game for Keyshawn George. Nine points personal for him now. Thompson Jr. Good ball movement. Plummer open, hits a three. Puerto Rico not going away. Battling to the end, that's for sure. Stolen away. Plummer reading it well. Lob. That one's way too high for Capos. Foul's going to be whistled on Thompson Jr. We'll see a change as Cavangeli comes in for Wiltshire. Alexander Walker, double team comes across. Miller now. Oh, big defensive stand, Collier. Miller just running into the brick wall. It was Collier. Capos, though, is blocked at the other end of the floor. Oh, wonderful team basketball from Canada. That is transition. The ball didn't bounce once. Just quick passes. Good movement. Clear spacing. 16 fast break points for Canada this evening. De Jesus to Collier. Collier, free throw line jumper, comes up short. Just about takes a coat of paint off the rim, not much more. Gilgeous Alexander. Little half step back, nails the two. 18 points now for him. Timeout's going to be called by Coach Gonzalez. His team's mini comeback seems to have stalled here with a little under 6.5 minutes to play. There's the block at one end, and that is how you run a transition. Ask any coach. That is what they want to see their teams doing. The ball does not touch the ground. The ball moves, the players move, and the buckets are easy. Coach Gonzalez moving things around, throwing everything he has at this game. Bit of an update from the other game in this group. Bahamas right now lead Jamaica by 21 points. 3.5 minutes left in the first half there. Now, if that plays through, and there's a big if, that would move the Bahamas to a 2-3 record. And Puerto Rico would actually drop to the 4th spot in the group. And worryingly, it's only the top 3 who progress through to the 2nd round of the qualifiers. So what that would mean is that Puerto Rico would have to beat the Bahamas on Monday's game. And that would be enough for them to progress, because they would have the head-to-head as well. So potentially very worrying times here for Puerto Rico, a team that's very used to making it to the World Cup, a team that's ranked 5th in the Americas. They're not careful, may depart from these qualifiers at the end of the first round. Plummer now. Pulls the trigger on a 3 in the slot and gets it to go. Puerto Rico have been impressive in this game. They've shown plenty of quality, particularly offensively. Defensively, quite a few frailties, but they have conceded nearly 90 points a game in these qualifiers. Puerto Rico certainly aren't setting their stall out as a defensive team. Plummer now hands it away to De Jesus. Romero strong off the glass and off target, but the foul is called. Canada still with a 19-point lead. Puerto Rico still with plenty of time to get their way back in. And Enrique Freeman now with a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds. 25-year-old certainly has had phases in this game. He's been very impressive. Still clearly not quite the finished product. Work to be done, but imagine how good he's going to be when he does. As we see Romero bank in a free throw. Potentially accidentally. Goes 2 from 2 though, and that's all Puerto Rico will care about right now. Cabangele is fouled out of the game on that foul against Romero. That's frustrating for Coach Herbert. Inside, Gilgeous-Alexander up and under. Acrobatic play from SGA. Romero gets his own rebound, goes again. And he'll have another chance, and he'll draw another foul. He's hit hard, I think, by Miller this time, or was it George? Both teams making changes. Romero hits the first as Brooks is in deep conversation with the official about what is and isn't a travel. Puerto Rico will lose possession. Canada will regain it on their own baseline. Alexander now hands it away to Bediako. He'll get it back though. Alexander cooking. Whoa, yes he will. Gets it to go. And a wry smile on his face as he skips to the free throw line, and you could feel him ready to cook things up here. What a spin move. Gets it to drop. Look at the speed of that spin. Tell me a player that could defend that. No one's staying with him on that pace. At the line for the bonus. Gets the roll on the bonus. He's up to 23 points now. Joint leading scorer with Andrew Nembhard. Both of them been on the floor pretty much exactly the same amount of time now as well. That one dumped inside to Romero, but Andrew Nembhard can only grab it and fall out of bounds with it. Romero won't take the three, will go all the way through to the weak side, gets it back, drops it in for two. Romero up to 15 points personal now. Just about 4 minutes left on the game clock. Brooks trying to shake things up against Romero, fades away. Oh, hugely contested jumper. And Dylan Brooks whips it through the string. Baseline cut. As Ryan Nembhard just falls asleep defensively. Plummer makes him pay. Plummer up to 14 points personal as well now. Georges Alexander inside, and another and one opportunity for SGA. Attacks the basket. And once he's got his shoulders ahead, so difficult to stop. At the line for another bonus. 26 points now. The game's leading scorer. Has 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. As we see Alexander Walker come into the action. Also Aaron Best. As Georges Alexander heads out. And Andrew Nembhard. .21 left on the game clock. Both teams now in the penalty. Toro hands it back to Plummer. Plummer certainly the hottest hand in this fourth quarter. Thompson misses the shot and has cooled off considerably from earlier in the game. Alexander Walker fades away and gets the 2 to roll. Inside the final 3 minutes, Canada already up to 104 points. 111 is their biggest score of the qualifiers. That was on opening night on the road to the Bahamas. I think you probably expect them to surpass that here today. Baseline drive, little lob inside, no good. Foul's going to be called, and Puerto Rico will be heading to the line as they continue to battle to the final buzzer. Thompson Jr. hits the first of his 2. And there, ball's the second. Never a great look for a player. George comes back into the game for Canada. Dylan Brooks heads to the bench. His night done, 15 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. George for 3, no good. Rebound pulled in by Thompson Jr. stolen away. There's the lob. And there's the lay-in. Alexander Walker up to 8 points personal now, as well as 7 assists. That one knocked out of bounds by Ryan Nembhard. There's the steal by Nembhard. There's the lob and the lay-in from Alexander Walker. Out of the game heads Freeman. As Coach Gonzalez has probably got half an eye now on Monday's game, where they'll be on the road again to take on the Bahamas. And now that game becomes, well, absolutely massive. Bahamas right now are dominating Jamaica at the half. They're leading by 29. 61-32 in that game, and if Bahamas go on to win that, it becomes, well, potentially a 3-team shootout with 2 teams heading through. Nembhard, a little shoulder shake to create some space to get the shot away. Oh, now it's thrown away. An off-balance Thompson Jr. has to put it back into playing. Can only give it straight into the hands of Ryan Nembhard. Final 90 seconds now of the game. Ethan Thompson. Clavel gets it to go. Rebound pulled in by Kennedy. Oh, through the legs, but stolen. Clavel now. Skip to the weak side corner, quick release. Skips over the iron and away. Alexander Walker scoops it in. And Canada with 110 on the board. Look like they're just going to run some clock down. Alexander Walker will have to take a shot. Gets a 3 away. Won't get the roll this time. Puerto Rico will have to take a shot as well, but Canada continue their perfect run in these qualifiers. Canada move through to a 5-0 record, whilst Puerto Rico dropped to a 1-4 record, which could see them bottom of Group B at the end of game day 5, and their chances of making the World Cup hanging by a thread. But Canada continue to march on imperiously, led by Coach Herbert. Final score here in Hamilton is Canada 110, Puerto Rico 84. A comfortable win in the end for the home team. As Coach Gonzalez now, his mind will have already switched to that critical game against the Bahamas on Monday. Canada will take on Jamaica on Monday, but right now they'll just spend a few moments enjoying their win here in front of their home fans. And a bumper crowd here in the arena. A raucous crowd. Brought plenty of energy all game. Gilgeous Alexander led all scorers with 26. Romero led Puerto Rico with 17. Here are some of the best plays from that fourth quarter of action. Canada just really closing the game out. Kind of dropped it into cruise control, but Canada's cruise control still notched 27 points. Puerto Rico had their best quarter of the game though, putting in 24 of their own, but it wasn't to be here this evening in what was a statement performance from Canada as they build their challenge for the World Cup next year. Currently sitting 5-0, which puts them in a wonderful position. If they can pick up a final win, keep a perfect record heading out of this first round 6-0. And that takes an awful lot of pressure off that second phase of qualification, which will commence in August, as they look to pick up one of the 7 spots from the Americas at the World Cup in Qatar next year. And I tell you now, if this Canadian team can come together, the big names suit up for that World Cup, they are surely in the conversation, not just for medals, but who knows, there could be a trophy conversation for Canada as well. But those conversations probably a little bit early right now, as we are almost at the midpoint of the qualification campaign. Don't get me wrong, Canada have done a phenomenal job so far, put them in a wonderful position to qualify, but they still do have to get that job done. As for Puerto Rico, well, my goodness me, Monday's game becomes huge right now. As you can see, Puerto Rico sit third in the group, but as Bahamas are very, very heavily ahead against Jamaica at the half, if Bahamas go on to win that game, Puerto Rico would drop down to the bottom spot in the group, and their chances of progression to the second round rely heavily on their game on Monday. But right now here in Hamilton, it's been a stellar show from the home team. Canada putting on a show for their home fans. The final score here is Canada 110, Puerto Rico 84. The Canadians remain perfect, unbeaten in their qualification campaign.